welcome to Smoky Goodness. Today, yet again, we're doing Smoky Goodness 4-flip baby back ribs. There are 2 or 3 reasons why we're doing Smoky Goodness 4-flip baby back ribs today. The first one being that every time I do these ribs, and there have been probably at least half a dozen videos spread across 3 or 4 channels here on YouTube, I always get a question or two about little nuances. What did you do here? How did you do that? When did you start smoking? Things like that. So we're going to kind of get into a little bit more detail with that. The other reason, and this is a good reason, I've been really curious about something that JimboJitsu did. Matt, up there in Olympia, he tried a little trick here, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, of using ketchup as a base for the rub. You know, we use mustard all the time, but he tried ketchup, said it was really good. I've been intrigued by that for a long time, so it's time. The third reason we're doing 4-flip baby back ribs here on Smoky Goodness today, even though we've done them half a dozen times, shut up, bird, jeez, is because we really like them. I mean, there are no ribs in this town at any restaurant that can even come close to baby back ribs, Smoky Goodness style, 4-flip. Using the 4-flip procedure, it just doesn't happen. The barbecue societies do not like ribs like this. They're falling off the bone. They're so tender, you pick up the bone, the meat falls off. You could even take a couple of forks and pull them and make pulled pork rib sandwiches with these. This is how we like them, so this is how we do them. Who cares what KCBS says about them? Well, they haven't specifically said anything about these ribs, but in general, they don't like tender, fall off the bone ribs. Okay, I have to apologize in advance. I'm going to take you back into the Wayback Machine. We're going to go back to last night, into the darkest and tiniest kitchen in the known universe to show you how we prep these. So, stick around. Let's get into that machine. Stick around, Herb. I'm Mr. Smoky Goodness Guy. Welcome to Smoky Goodness' darkest and smallest kitchen in the known universe. Alright, here we go, the ribs. Beginning with a full rack. We've got a full rack here to begin with. And we're going to begin talking about this membrane in the back here. There are generally 2 schools of thought regarding the membrane. Most people are convinced that the ribs will be better if you remove the membrane. And we have done that before. The other camp says, leave it on. It doesn't matter much. We fall into the second category. We usually leave it on, although sometimes I will remove it. The thing is, with the 4-flip procedure that I use for these ribs, and this works also on just regular pork spare ribs, as well as these baby backs, what happens is I give a final sear, as you will see, to these racks of ribs. The reason I'm scoring it is to allow some of the smoke to penetrate during the long smoking process, and also to get a little bit of that rub in there, although it's not necessary. What happens, like I said, during the 4-flip process at the end of the cook, is that I'm searing the ribs under very high heat. And that membrane tends to crisp up, but it also tends to kind of peel back a little bit. I mean, if you really don't want the membrane on there, you can pull it right off. After it's cooked, it's very easy. But I have found, and I may be wrong about this, but this is my theory, that as long as that membrane is on there, it's helping that rack of ribs hold a lot of the moisture within the ribs. It's part of the reason these things come out so tender, juicy, and moist, and everything else. So that's why I do that. Okay, and here we have a second rack of ribs. And I'm going to cut this rack in half. So that it'll fit better on the Weber this way. We use a rib rack to put the half rack slabs into the rib rack, and then just drape the other one over the top of it. We are going to try the JimboJitsu trick from Matt over at JimboJitsu's Farmhouse Show of using ketchup as a base for the rub. And like I said, I've been really curious about this for some time now. It's time to try it out. So we're going to do this half a rack. We're going to do this half rack of ribs with just ketchup. But on the other rack, or I should say, on the other half rack, I'm mixing up some mustard, half ketchup, half mustard. I'm going to use that on the second half of this rack as a base for the rub. Mustard and ketchup. I might as well add pickles and cheese and call it a cheeseburger rack of ribs. Cheeseburger ribs? I don't know. Anyway, so on goes the mustard. On goes some Tango Spice Midnight Espresso onto this rack of ribs. The other rack of ribs, the full rack, since I am using just ketchup, we hit that with some Tango Spice Chicken Rib Rub, which lends itself really well to these type of ribs. Alright, wrap these bad boys up, stick them in the fridge overnight. We'll see you out on the stage. Rise up, become fire. We want fire, fire. Pan's already half filled with water. I am adding some apple raspberry juice. Oh yeah. Mustard ribs. Alright, and that's about it. We will be periodically checking in from time to time, checking the temperature, spritzing it down, and everything. Shut up, dog. Okay, we are just about half an hour into this. This is the point where I like to start smoking a little bit. Smoking ribs. I don't smoke, you know. So, today I'm using a kind of a combination of hickory and applewood chunks here. Really nice flavor. That is a winning combination, in my humble opinion. Go over here. Maybe a little more over there. Alright. This is straight apple raspberry juice. I think I forgot to mention, in the pan is a 50-50 mix of water and apple raspberry juice. Really interesting flavor that can't be beat. Alright. It's also about the only time I ever use the gas grill. The only time. And let that heat up. Anyway, make sure this is really clean. As with charcoal, so with gas. Right? Okay, that's what we call the 4-flip process. What we're doing here is busting up the fat cells that are in these ribs. Fat cells are like little gel caps or whatever. They contain a whole bunch of fat. As you're searing them, little fat cells are breaking open. Flip them over. And it's just falling apart. Sear that side. Wow. That's it for that. It's a dead soldier here. Barbecue sauce we have around here, and I picked the 2 bottles that are the emptiest. Oh well. Whoop. Missed. There aren't ribs as good as these. There you go, there's your more detailed look at the infamous Smoky Goodness 4-flip baby back ribs.
Stick around, Herb.
Oh, you both did it. I should say it too. Stick around, Herb. One more thing. If you're new to the barbecue community and cooking community here on YouTube, check these guys out. There's all kinds of good stuff. This is my shout-out shirt. I will be adding more to it as time goes on. Ran out of contact paper. Ran out of transfer paper last night, so I wasn't able to finish this, but kind of cool, huh? All right, stick around, Herb.
But how is this